Okay, look how freaking clean this looks. Oh, dude, they even have the freaking tag team with Who's the Fate. It's so good. All right, so I have been wanting to do this for a while. I am so excited for Project L. So we're gonna make a Project L launch perfect roster of characters I want to see. I've been playing League for like 10 years now, and I recently got super into fighting games with Guilty Gear, and recently Granblue also. So we're gonna try and create the perfect Project L roster on launch. So we know that we have 14 characters on start. Hello, kitty. Say hi. Say hello. Hello, kitty. All right, so we know we have 14 characters to start with. Let me see if I can find the ones that are already confirmed. So we know Yasuo is in here. We know Ari is in here. We got Echo confirmed. We've got Alawi confirmed. And we're thinking probably Jinx too, right? So we got those 5 confirmed. I have to imagine, oh, sorry, I forgot about Darius too. So that's 6. I have to imagine that they're probably gonna want some representation from all the different regions and also from all the different like champion roles and stuff like that, and then also all the different like archetypes for like fighting games. Like Darius is kind of like a big body. I imagine Alawi will also be something like that. Jinx feels like kind of, she might be like kind of zoner. And then we've got like some mixed characters, Rushdown style, Yasuo, Echo, stuff like that. So we're gonna try and keep things. I want to try and like make it kind of even across all the different like areas and different roles. So I'm going to start from the top here and kind of look through what we're looking for. So I think in terms of adding a support, Blitzcrank has to be our support and has to be our big body grappler. It just makes too much sense. I mean, if you play Guilty Gear, I mean, like, he's basically Potemkin already. The kit just kind of writes itself. You got like some, you know, hook moves to try and get people across the screen. Some pretty sick, like maybe like a hook assist button. Yeah, I feel like his kit is just super straightforward, like a little bit of a knock up and some extra damage. I feel like Blitz just makes way too much sense and also fits in as a pretty solid support pick. I think for supports also Braum might be really cool. He's also in the whatever Bilgewater RPG game, the freaking Shadow Isles game, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I think that would be pretty cool. Braum with like a shield kind of assist. Although I feel like he sort of steps on the toes of Yasuo with his shield, and Yasuo has like that wind wall mechanic, so that's why I feel like he's a little bit less, like he would fit a little bit less. Let's see, do we have any junglers? Not really. Kind of Echo maybe, but Echo's not really a jungler. I feel like quintessential jungler, my mind has to go to Lee Sin. But I feel like Lee Sin might not be like an on-release character. I feel like he's somebody that you want to build hype for and release later down the line. So I'm gonna put him in the DLC package. I imagine like the the initial roster has to be people that are like super iconic and basically have like really recognizable characters from League, right? People that have been like in and out of multiple franchises, maybe even like representation from like Arcane if they're gonna try and do something like that. I don't know if they will or not, but let's see. We need some mages. We've got Ari. That's kind of about it. I feel like we need like at least one true zoner poke mage. Let's see, we've got a few here. I feel like Lux is kind of a cop-out. She's kind of super basic. I feel like we have Ari already for like poster girl, so I'd be surprised if they also added Lux. I feel like it's a little too basic at that point. You feel me? But we still need some kind of mage. Maybe Syndra? Some interesting ideas with Syndra. I mean, like she could use her balls somehow, like set balls on the screen. But I feel like if you're gonna do a puppet character or somebody who's gonna like set stuff up on the stage, that has to be Azir, right? If you're gonna do a puppet character. Let's see, who else we have? I think Aatrox is a little bit too much like Riven, I think, with like the 1, 2, 3 mechanic. Where is Riven, by the way? I feel like if Riven's not in it, I will be extremely disappointed. Have you guys, I don't know if you guys are around back in the day. There used to be this like animation with a guy who like made League as a fighting game. Let me see if I can find it. Gosh, it's so old now. Let me see where League fighting game animated Riven. All right, well, I looked for quite a while to see if I could find this video and could not find it. I think that it got maybe taken down. I think that's very possible. But if you have been around since the old days of League, you might know what I'm talking about. But back in the day, there was this guy who did like what League would be like if it was a fighting game, and I remember he did Lee Sin. I remember he did Riven. I forget what other characters he might have done, but man, I wonder if there was like some kind of conflict of interest or something, and they asked him to take that down, because I can't find it anymore. But anyway, man, I sure wish I could show that, because man, that was so cool. But all right, let's get back to this list. All right, so we have a support. We still need like a jungler, like a solid jungler. I wish I could sort this list, because man, there's so many freaking champions. Let me add another row. Add row below. This will maybe help me sort some stuff out. So let's call this like probably not. So for now, I'll put like some of these characters in there that like probably wouldn't work for fighting game characters. At least not on release. So Kali is like a maybe for me. She could be really cool. I definitely think we need a ninja, so I'll throw some of the ninjas up there. Alistar seems like too basic, and Nivea could be interesting, but I feel like you really need her wall, and again, we already have a wall. Otherwise, Nivea's like identity just feels like it overlaps too much with other characters. Annie probably doesn't translate very well. She could, but it'd be tough to do. Ashe, like ADCs I feel like are kind of hard to do. Caitlyn's like a maybe, I think. They just came out with Elfelt in Guilty Gear Strive. I can imagine you could do something like that. but Caitlyn's such a sniper. I feel like it'd be hard to implement also. Oh, where's Set? Set has to be like, there's no way Set doesn't make it in, right? Where is he? Gotta find my boy. I'll get there. Cassio, probably not. Camille, probably not. Cho'Gath, I feel like could go. Camille, she's got so much mobility. Like, when I think of Camille, I think about her dash and then like her huge 2-hit combo thing, which I guess you kind of have to reinvent her, but I feel like she's kind of a maybe. Like, maybe she could go in DLC at some point. Diana is a maybe. Draven is also kind of a maybe. He could do some cool stuff with his axes, I think. Mundo seems too basic. Elise. I think she's a contender for the puppet character. Evelyn could be sort of like an interesting rushdown option. Ezreal, too basic, I think. Fiddlesticks, I think he would be too hard to execute. Again, I'm trying to think about like fighting game things and the league identity of a character, and like how would you create like things in a fighting game that like stick with that identity. So like Darius is an awesome example because he has like bleed stuff, and that's really easy to do in like a fighting game. Like that translates really easily. So Fiora being a duelist, you could definitely do some like vital stuff, I think. Fizz, God, I hope not. Fizz, what an annoying champion, just like never ever get hit. I'm gonna put him in the probably not. GP is an interesting idea. I'm gonna skip through most of these, I think. Let's see. Jax is an interesting idea also. Let me think about his kit. So you've got like a counter. Counters are not. I can imagine a character with a counter. So he is the Grand Duelist. But I feel like not enough people are excited to play Jax. I feel like he's a solid DLC character at some point. Like he's not. You're not playing him. You're not giving him to the perfect base roster, right? Aurelia is definitely cool. She's super cool. I think she goes in the DLC. I don't think she. We already have a lot of Ionia representation with like Ari and Yasuo, so I think she's definitely like a season 1 or season 2 type of character. Let's see. So Vi for sure. I think Vi is almost like maybe base roster worthy. I mean, she's got the arcane tie-in. She's got like super easy like kit to create. I feel like Vi and Set kind of step on each other's toes though, so it's kind of a toss-up who wins here because they're both like punchy, right? Maybe Vi wins because of like arcane and she's recognizable. We already have Jinx for like arcane stuff and Echo, so maybe we go with Set. I'm gonna go with Set here. Yeah, I just like Set. You can take me up on that later in the comments. I think Set's cool, man. All right, where's our other ninjas? We gotta pick a ninja up the bunch. Where's Shen? I saw him earlier. There you are. And then Kennen. Kennen's like a. As much as a so we do need a small body character. I do think we do need a small body character, but I don't think it's Kennen. If we're gonna pick a ninja, I feel like it's one of these three, and I feel like both Akali and Zed have a really good chance to make it. Yeah, I hope it's Zed, dude. Zed is so hype. I think Zed would be a perfect addition to this roster, as kind of like a shadow clone swappy ninja execute damage style character. Like, dude, how sick would he look in Project L? I mean, I would play the absolute shit out of Zed for sure. Zed Yasuo, I mean, I'm kind of a weeb. But you already know I'm gonna mess some fools up with that. We do need one transform character, probably. We've got Elise, we've got Nidalee, we've got Jace. Oh, Gnar is another option for a transform character. Gnar actually has some really interesting implications because he covers a lot of bases. He's a small body that turns into a big body. Could be a really interesting... I feel like Gnar could be a very cool character. I'm gonna put him in the DLC at least. He seems really cool. Like, charge up meter. And then once you get your meter, you're like... You've got like an install super where you turn into super Gnar or Mega Gnar. That would be super dope. And then all of a sudden, like, you're just this big boy and you want to deal a bunch of freaking damage. That seems cool to me. Samira is like, I would not be surprised if Samira was in there as like an alternate ADC. Let's see, how many got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're getting dangerously close. We might have to swap some stuff around. Poppy seems like she could be really cool with like her hammer and stuff. I'm gonna put her in here for now. I feel like we need another support. I think Thresh or Pyke could both be really sick. Where's Thresh? Where you at, son? So many champions. Oh, Mordekaiser is another cool option. Let me see. Thresh. Did I put him up already? No, I didn't. I don't think so. Doot. There he is. You're probably staring at the screen like, there he is. You're blind. Let's put him in the honorable mentions for now. Let's see. I know Thresh is like really popular in Asia, I think. We'll put him in potential base roster material. Pyke's also cool, but I feel like he's more maybe DLC. It's like a sick rushdown character types thing, but he also counts as a support. Let's see. So we have assassins, we have supports, we've got some bruisers. Really we're missing mages. All right, mages is like what we're definitely gonna have to struggle to find somebody with. So they translated Ahri. Ahri kind of makes sense because she's got assassin-esque vibes with like her ability to kind of dash in, dash out kind of stuff. But like a true control mage, like who would we want to see? Who would we hate to see? I guess, because honestly, if we like, I imagine like a mage character, like crazy zoner stuff, could be really interesting, but also really annoying to play against. Okay, here's my hot take. I want to say Xerath could be a pretty sick zoner. He's got a very cool aesthetic, I think, and he also kind of represents that Shurima Ixtal region, I think it's called. Alternatively, I could make a case for Azir being like the puppet character, and he also kind of counts as a mage. He's like a mid lane mage. So if Samira and Jinx are like our two ADCs, we've got assassins over here, we've got bruisers, We've got supports. We've got one mage. Let's see, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so we have one more slot, and then we can like also move some stuff around. So in terms of big body characters, we already have Blitz. Oh, we need like a monster character. So what are the monsters here? We've got Kha'Zix, we've got, I don't know if Nocturne really counts. I don't think he goes anyway. Vel'Koz. We've got all like the bug stuff. If we're talking like monsters, I think the one kind of option is pretty obvious, which is Kha'Zix. I think Kha'Zix has a lot of potential to be like a sick character. Not only is he kind of not humanoid, but he's also like very iconic with Rengar. So like you could do Kha'Zix Rengar event. But I feel like you save Kha'Zix for Kha'Zix Rengar. So hear me out. My spicy pick here for the monster character is Cho'Gath. I think Cho'Gath has a ton of sick potential. Like, can you imagine just like a big ass Cho'Gath on the screen, and he's got like his scream and his knock up and like some like crazy bite supers. Like, I feel like Cho'Gath has some really sick potential to be both like really visually appealing, but also pretty interesting as a character who has like his abilities could like throw the Vorpal blades, right? So you could try and like hit people. Maybe his abilities would like have a 2-hit that you could cancel out of early, but if you don't cancel the animation, then you get the second hit, which is like the Vorpal blade thing. So that could be really interesting. Plus he functions as another like big body. He could be like man, like his assist could be like some kind of knock up or zoning tool or like something like that. We do have to think about like what their assists are also. Based on what we know already, the assists are usually just like something that kind of either sends out an attack of some kind or some kind of utility. Let's see. I mean, I would be pretty happy with this base roster. I think we're maybe missing a little bit of Bilgewater. I think Riven and Set, as much as I want them to both release on at the same time, I'm not sure. I feel like there's too much overlap here also of like, there's just too much bruiser representation. So I wonder if Set doesn't get bumped into DLC. I think Set would get released pretty soon afterwards. Also, let me look through and see if there's any other interesting characters that kind of pique my interest. I mean, Yone is probably gonna come at some point. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Warwick seems a little too simple. I feel like most of the characters where their like main shtick is like attack real fast kind of thing seems kind of difficult or like boring to implement. Like there's not something that really like jumps out to me like, hey, I want to, oh, my cat, kitty buddy, you're on my keyboard. But there's not like something that like really jumps out to me like, hey, I want to turn this into a fighting game character around this particular mechanic. Like, so if we look at their base roster, like Yasuo's definitely like a cool samurai guy, and the wind wall obviously makes sense, and the tornadoes obviously make sense, really easy to implement. Ari has like her Foxfire stuff, which is cool. Darius has his bleed mechanic, and Echo has like his rewind mechanic. So like all of those make really appealing characters. So if we look, Jinx just is an ADC, right? So I don't know if they'll confirm Jinx or if they'll swap to another ADC. But like Alawi has her tentacles, which she can play around. Azir obviously has his puppet soldiers. Riven, I think her sword being like kind of install super kind of style could be really cool. And obviously she's already just like built to be a combo character, so I feel like she just fits naturally. Blitz has his hook, and also being like kind of a grappler style just makes perfect sense. Thresh, I think Thresh could be hard to play. I think maybe Thresh overlaps a little too much with Blitz. Now that I think about it. I think Cho'Gath has his eat and like his Warple stuff. I think that could be easily implemented as like a cool mechanic. Zed has his shadows. Alright, so let's look at supports again. Senna is an interesting idea. She's more of an aggressive support. True supports, I have a hard time like imagining what their like moves would be. You'd have to do a lot of inventing to really make them feel like, hey, this is like a support character that's actually beating you up. Small body characters, Yumi. Sona's kind of interesting with her different like musical notes. I don't know if she's like popular enough to make the base roster. What other supports are really popular? I wonder what the most popular supports are. I don't really play support too much. Ooh, Leona could be super cool. I feel like Leona would be awesome as a support. And also just like as a character, like visually. Dang, I really hope they put Leona in at some point. That would be, I mean, just, I feel like that'd be super sick. Oh, there's Senna. Yeah, I mean, Karma seems like she has some offensive stuff. I think Sona feels like a definite maybe. Braum is also another good option, but I feel like, man, Leona would be like a great alternative because she and Braum kind of fill like similar roles, but not only does she seem pretty easy visually to implement, like, because the other person, like, so when I think of like engaged supports, right, like I think of like Leona, I think of like Rel is another one that I think about, but I feel like Rel being on a horse and like having to change forms and stuff just seems a little too much to manage visually, so I feel like Rel is probably a maybe not. Nautilus is basically Blitzcrank 2.0 and not as like iconic, so I think Blitz just takes Nautilus's spot, unfortunately, because Naut is, I mean, let's be real, I mean, he's a really cool character. I feel like if you made Nautilus instead of Blitzcrank, I wouldn't be upset about it, but Blitz I feel like just makes more sense. So Rakan and Xayah being like DLC could be really interesting. Like, I feel like these duo characters that come in a package make really interesting DLC ideas. Oh, bud, can you not touch the keyboard? Yeah, let's move that out of the way. You can sleep on my mouse pad. There you go. Okay. What else? Victor's kind of an interesting idea for a mage. He seems kind of appealing. Ryze as a combo mage is also kind of an interesting idea. Actually, Ryze, ooh, these could be really sick. I feel like he could do some really cool stuff with Ryze, and with his like maybe like certain moves empowering other moves, or like being able to cancel into certain like things. He's very visually appealing. I think his kit is kind of boring. I don't really see how his kit would be that interesting. But he's also a very iconic character, so I'm gonna put him in maybe. I have to decide between Victor and Rise. I feel like Victor is kind of more, could be like a more interesting character. Like he could do stuff with his staff and have some like laser fireball beam stuff as a ranged move for a little bit of zoning, but also like could do stuff when he got in with his arm and with his staff and stuff. I feel like Victor makes a lot of sense, and he's also a mage. LeBlanc, here comes my bias. I hate LeBlanc. I think she's stupid. But I like Zed, and they also kind of have similar kind of ideas, so I feel like we're gonna ditch LeBlanc and take Zed instead. Ooh, Tarek is kind of an interesting idea. I think I like Leona better though. Tarek has some sauce though. He's already got that built-in mechanic where he like hits pretty hard and slaps you around with his big ass hammer. I feel like that could be kind of an interesting, like maybe he could be like later DLC. Like I imagine he could come later on, but I just feel like he's so unpopular in League in terms of like, you never see him these days. Can't tell you the last time I saw Tarek that I wasn't the one playing them. Yeah, so I wonder if he's not gonna make it in at some, or if he's popular enough to make it in, because I'm trying to think like how many. Typically these DLCs come like, so if there's a 14-man base roster, then I imagine we're probably getting like another 10 characters at most. So let's call this season 2. Oh, all right. Let's call this DLC 1. Whoops. And then we'll call this DLC season 2. Make this purple. All right, so we gotta keep this to like 5 characters and not go over. I think that if they would make us wait for Jax. All right, I'm taking out these cutesy duo characters. Let's see. All right, so we got 11, 12, 13. We need one more for the top roster. So what are we looking at? We got our mages, we've got some bruisers, we've got some mid lane assassins, we've got a few supports. We're missing junglers. That's what we're missing. Actually, we're really weak in the jungling department. All right, let's take a look at junglers. So we've got Jarvan. Jarvan would honestly do super well, I feel like, translating. Xin could also work really well. Wukong could also work really well. See, Volley's kind of a jungler. I don't really see him there too much. Trundle, I feel like, is a little too boring. Like his main mechanic is like his ult and his pillar, so I don't think he's that interesting. Volley also I think is not that interesting. He just attacks real fast and like has some lightning stuff. Let's see, Maokai, probably not. Ivern, probably not. Like, how do you implement the bushes and stuff? Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, Ivern could be interesting as like a pet character, but if you're gonna do a pet character like Ivern, like, you do Annie first, right? Like, I feel like that's too You gotta do that first. Lilia could be interesting. She's definitely like a maybe. Like, it's possible, but I don't think that's like a strong case for that. Olaf, I could throw some axes. Olaf could be like kind of a very normal-esque Shoto type character, kind of a bruiser style, get in your face and beat you down. He could like have super armor on his moves. That's actually kind of an interesting idea, having a character with super armor, because so far none of our characters have that. Rek'Sai is another potential for jungler. Skarner, I think. I don't think we can do Skarner / Rek'Sai. It's just too weird with like character hitboxes. I feel like at least with Cho'Gath, he kind of stands upright with 2 legs, and that would make it like easier to kind of do a normal hitbox for a character. Let's see what other junglers are there. Master Yi. Master Yi is kind of like sure, but like, is anyone really excited for Master Yi? I don't know. Kayn, I don't know how you handle the form swapping. Like, maybe you do like one, like form swapping just becomes too much of like a install style super, and it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna pick a character with an install style super, there's like lots of cooler options, I feel like. So Kayn, I think, is probably not. He's just too complicated to implement. Nocturne is a probably not, again for the same reason as like these guys. I just don't think they translate well into a fighting game. For the record, I feel like Vel'Koz is definitely like could be a character, but not that interesting. I really like the idea of Jarvan. I think he's pretty iconic. I definitely think he's doable. Wukong, I feel like, could be somewhere in the DLC. I think he's super cool. We'll throw most of these supports in here. Senna would be cool. I actually would be excited for Senna, I think. Teemo, yeah, you could probably do Teemo. He'd be annoying as fuck though. I'm not into it. Tristana, I think, is too hard to do. She's like a little character. Looking at the visual style of the way that they're doing Jinx, like, I think that Tristana would be not like, it wouldn't feel like it fit very well. Gangplank with the barrels. You could make an argument that there's like some set play stuff in there, but I feel like he's pretty weak, to be honest, as a choice. Gragas, yeah, sure. Graves is also a yeah, sure. I'm not really that excited about him. Like, we're talking about, I want to find characters that like stand out to me as like interesting options. Hecarim is like a no. Heimerdinger is a maybe. Jhin, I think, is actually pretty high up here on the possible. Possible, but let's do that. So we could throw some of these characters in. I feel like we need like another, like, I'm not really that excited about any of these. Rengar definitely fits that category for me. Poppy, yeah, you could do it. I feel like you could do something. Jace, I'm not really that excited about. Shen, I mean, Shen's cool. I like Shen as a character, but I think he'd be kind of boring as a character in a fighting game. Like, I'm not really that hyped about it. Let's see. So honorable mentions are like characters that I probably don't think will make it in initially, but could be pretty cool. Like I'm excited for, like if they came out as a character, I'd be pretty excited to play them, or at least excited that they are a character, even if I'm not that interested in playing them myself, if that makes sense. We're gonna put Katarina in honorable mentions. Kennen, I think, is a probably not. Any mounted character is probably a not. Kaisa has some sauce with her like form swapping stuff, but I think she's kind of visually appealing as a potential character. Callista, Karma is probably not, I feel like. I don't know. Ooh, Kassadin. He's got like blade moves and blink stuff. I don't know. It doesn't seem that interesting. Kale is cool. Kale could be interesting. She's got a very different aesthetic than any other character in the game. Like some of the characters have pretty similar aesthetics. Like I was saying earlier, Blitzcrank and like Nautilus, that basically feel like the same character. But Kale, there's no other like angel-esque being in this game other than Kale. So I think she's definitely got like a cool, unique aesthetic. I think Pantheon also fits in there. Definitely has a very easy to translate kit. I think most assassins have kind of like a cool, like usually kind of a pretty cool aesthetic that translates well to fighting games. We have some like other wonky characters. Syra is another pet character, but I don't know, plants are kind of whatever. I think like Sand Soldiers seems much more visually appealing to me. Or even like spiders. I don't know how you do spiders though. Sand Soldiers make a lot of sense. Diego, I mean, I don't even really know what you do. His shtick doesn't work for a fighting game. Same with Tom Kench. Cillian, man, he needs a visual rework before he can make it into a fighting game. He just doesn't do anything. He's a freaking dude on a freaking clock. It's like, whatever, man. Kindred's interesting. Kindred, you could do like some form swapping stuff, maybe? I don't know. Kog'Maw, probably not. Lysandra, she's hard to do. She doesn't have legs, dude. Malzahar, boring. Meganar we'll leave down here. Misfortune is interesting. If they can do Misfortune, like I feel like any of these ADCs could be cool. I think of the coolest of them are maybe like Lucian. Like dual gun stuff. Let's put him up here. We potentially want to do like some DLC-esque stuff. We want to have some like mages and stuff and ADCs in the DLC. We can't have all bruisers, right? Orianna is another interesting idea for a puppet character. Talon is cool. Like Talon and his blades and stuff, you could like send his blades out and come back in. I feel like if you've got stuff that goes out and comes back in, he's sort of like overlaps with Xayah. Xayah has the potential for some sauce, but I think if you're gonna compare the two, Talon takes it for me. Boring. Not possible. Kind of wonky. I'm trying to imagine what Nunu would be like. His snowball is hard to implement, right? Because that's like his most iconic move. So like, what are you gonna do with the snowball? Maybe his assist, but I mean, it's possible. It's possible. He could be a fun character. I'll put him in honorable mentions. How can you not love Nunu? Quinn is kind of not that interesting. Ornn, Characters aren't really like popular enough, I feel like, to merit a spot. Sejuani. Yeah, anyone riding like a horse or a pig or whatever, I think is kind of an automatic out, unfortunately. Seraphine seems boring. Shaco, okay, Shaco is an interesting character. I feel like Shaco's up here with Teemo as like pretty iconic, pretty annoying. Could have an interesting kit. We definitely need like a wonky ass character that doesn't really fit the mold. Usually every game has like one where it's like, okay, this character is not like any of the other characters, and if you are a psychopath and you want to play this character, then that's your guy. And I feel like Shaco has a very, very good argument for that. Unfortunately, the character has been so unloved by League developers. Like, he's basically been untouched since his inception at the beginning. You know, still got an old ass model, still plays basically the exact same way. Nobody really plays him except for those few like psychopath players. Let's see. Oh, Shyvana. Shyvana is a tough call. I feel like her transformation is too hard to do. Same kind of with Swain. Swain is actually kind of interesting. We'll put him up there with some of the other potential install super guys. Wherever I have those. I don't remember where I put them. But he definitely has some ideas. Zillion is kind of like a support. I think I meant to put him down here. Twisted Fate. Oh, Twisted Fate might have been one of the other characters in the initial like animation thing that I was talking about earlier. Urgot's too big, I think. Cyan's like maybe. Cyan's definitely a maybe. He's got some stuff that could go. Big overhead swings. Silas, his whole shtick is taking like the opponent's abilities and stuff. I feel like he would be hard to implement. And I feel like if you put Silas in, you'd want them to like steal ults and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like that'd be hard to do. Talia, some rockbender stuff. Seems kind of generic to me. She could be kind of cool, but like, I don't know. She's also a mage. Yeah, you could do some stuff with Talia. Twitch is kind of like meh. Varus, meh. Vayne could be cool. Ziggs, I think, is impossible but boring. I think his Hexgate thing, Vigar's identity doesn't really work. Udyr definitely could go. His little like his crazy like stance switches. I feel like Soares from Grand Blue Fantasy is basically Udyr. They're both like homeless looking men, so could go. Yorick, I'm not that interested in Yorick. I think he's too. Again, he's too similar to like, okay, if you're gonna summon a puppet of some kind, why aren't you doing like Annie or like Ivern or something? Like, why Yorick's just too far down the list. Let's see, Zach. Zach's fine. He's not like, I don't think anyone's like clamoring for Zach. And Vlad, I think it's kind of hard to do. His pool mechanic is like, seems a little bit unfair. Zoe could be cool as like kind of a combo character. All right, that was a long time. We went through pretty much every single champion. Gosh, all right. Let's try and organize this. So once again, I think I'm at 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're looking at a potential base roster here. we'll put these guys that are confirmed up front. Characters that I would like to see in the game. I think most excited would be like Blitz probably. Is this a diverse enough initial roster? It's kind of tough. So we have Jarvan as our jungler. I feel like we maybe have too many assassins. Who else really fits the mold from this list? We could do Elise. I feel like we only have one puppet character, and if we're gonna do a puppet character, it has to be Azir, right? Do we say yes or no to Teemo on launch? I think no, right? Trying to look at this list here. Zed or Akali? Dang. I feel like Akali is like super high chance of making it in as like DLC at some point. I think Akali maybe even got leaked. If Akali got leaked and she's in, then Zed's probably out, unfortunately. But I'm cool with Akali. I think she's super sick. Let's see, I'm trying to think about the rest of this. Okay. All right. So we have Aurelia, Ribbon, Samira, and then so like in order of like likelihood and like things that I would be super excited about, I think this top list, this top row looks really good. Samira, I think, translates really well as an ADC because obviously she has like a lot of really interesting stuff. Oh, this list might be kind of old. I feel like we're missing a few characters. Like we're definitely missing Neela. We're definitely missing Hui. Can't even remember who else came out in between then. So we're definitely missing a few of the newer champs. Let me look at the champ release schedule. League of Legends champ release order. Let's see. So, oh shoot, we're missing a ton. We're missing Vex. So Gwen and Auction are here, but so everything past Vex, I think. So we have Vex, Zeri, Renata, Belveth, Neela, Cassante, Milio, Nafiri, Briar, Hui. Okay, so thankfully most of those I think are pretty out. Cassante is a kind of an interesting idea. Belveth actually would be really sick. I think Belveth would be a very big contender, actually, now that I think about it. She would probably maybe take Cho'Gath's spot here as like a monster, and also she's a jungler. And she's like cool, and she could have some like pretty slick moves, I think. Yeah, Neela or Samira, I feel like kind of are again like very similar slots. So I'm gonna give it to Samira. I think she translates a little better. I'm also thinking about like the Soul Fighter event that they did, which is basically, I mean, I thought they were gonna come out and announce the game like and just say, oh, you know, Project L is going to be called Soul Fighters, and these are the characters that are going to be in the roster, and blah blah blah. Like that's what I thought they were going to do at the end of that event, and then when they didn't, I was heartbroken, but whatever. um Yo, I like this list a lot, actually. This is gonna be, I think I'm gonna go like this. There's definitely some honorable mentions, but I'm gonna clip it and call it here, I think. Um, yeah, the only change I would make is maybe making Belveth instead of Cho'Gath here. But this seems super cool. I wonder if this isn't too many Ionia champs, though. Could we swap like Mordekaiser for Aurelia? If we throw Aurelia in, who do we cut? Maybe we cut Vi. You pick Set or Vi, and we just say, well, let's go Set. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is gonna wrap up my wish list. I think if this is the launching roster, I'm gonna be super excited. Man, so many sick combos that you could do. Like, I feel like Leona could offer like a lot of utility. Azir could be really interesting. Mordekaiser could be really interesting with like his I don't know, you could throw all kinds of like Shadow Isle stuff into it, or like maybe more, oh, you know, Mordekaiser would be like super sick if he like locked you out of swapping your other characters or something like that. You could like Death Realm, and for like a short period of time they're like locked out of assists or something. That's actually super sick idea, as like his ultimate or like as his assist call or something. Dang, that would be super cool. Or like he gets powered up if it ends up just being a one-on-one when like he's the only one left versus the other character also only has one left. Like that would be very, very cool mechanic. Samira has like all sorts of like slashy slash stuff. Man, her ultimate like would be so sick looking, I feel like. And I feel like her kit just like translates so well between like her sword and gun stuff. Very, very cool looking character, I think. Yeah. Lee Sin, very cool, like high mobility kicks and stuff. Ability to like kick people back and like combo into stuff. That would be like super cool. I think Lucian kind of has like a lot of potential for like cool stuff as a ADC. And then I think we talked about most of the other characters here. Yeah. Okay, guys, I freaking found it. All right, these are the fighting game videos I was talking about. They're so old. God, 12 years ago. That tells you how long I've been playing this game. All right, so let's check it out real quick.
Master yourself.
This guy was like so ahead of his time. You should literally go. Dude, look at this freaking stuff, dude.
Strike firmly.
Bro, it's so sick. Let's fucking go.
You have not earned victory this day.
Dude, I really hope Lee Sin is such a perfect candidate. Oh, okay, he did like Xin Zhao. Let's see if I can find his other videos. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Ooh, Twisted Fate.
Here's a tip. And a spear behind it.
Not bad, not bad. I think the Riven. I think this is the Riven one. This one is the. I think is the sickest one.
Lucky day.
No, this is the second one.
Press the assault.
Oh, dude, the eyeball is so sick. Oh, the uppercut with the blue card. Freaking yeah, destroyed. Oh, the freaking spear animation is so sick. All right, where's Riven? Where you at? Ah, come on, my girl is here.
What is broken can be restored.
Okay, this is like, if this didn't spawn the entire Project L idea, I don't know what did. Okay, look how freaking clean this looks. Oh, dude, they even have the freaking tag team with Twisted Fate. It's so good. Oh. Oh. Get him. So good, dude.
You are beyond redemption.
With the blue buff in the background. The OG blue buff. Let's go. Alright, so they got 4. I didn't know he did more. Oh god, it's Nautilus. Oh, 3v3s. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Blitzcrank / Nautilus would be so sick for this. Let's go. Dude, this guy was so ahead of his time. Dude, go find this video and leave a like. Seriously. This was only 4 years ago. He came back and did more. That's actually super sick. Or these are the remastered ones, so maybe he did them, maybe he remade them more recently. But that's after, I think that's after Project L got announced. Project L got announced in 2020, I think? Because it was League's 10-year anniversary or something like that. I don't remember when it got. Ooh, Rise. Alright, we talked about Rise. Rise definitely has potential. Battle Bunny Riven? Ooh. Let's go. Combos?
I've read the runes. You lose.
I've read the runes! You lose! The Falcon. Captain Falcon knee. God damn. Oh, that's hysterical. I gotta say, this one was a cool idea, but the other ones were a bit snappier.
I tried to warn them. I really did.
Nice. Number 7. Oh, Leona, let's go! I talked about Leona. Dude, okay, she looks exactly the way I thought she would. Alright, I'm so glad that, like, my takes are not ridiculous.
I don't have time for this.
Somebody else agreed, man.
I must not fall.
Let's go. Radiant sign. Yeah. This makes so much sense with the shielding mechanic.
The sun always rises.
The sun always rises. Oh my god, that looks so sick. Beam! Oh, that's so sick. Dude, how does this video only have like
Next time,
63
try
likes?
to leave a dent.
Yo, this guy is like the OG, man. Yeah, I can't believe it. He's been doing this for so long. So sick. Alright. Okay. I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun just like nerding out, looking through all the characters and trying to pick a perfect roster here. So let me know if you guys agree with my picks. If you have any other suggestions, let me know down in the comments. And hopefully we get some more news on this game sometime this year. Fingers crossed. But until then, I will see you guys later.